Welcome to the Conscious Creative Podcast, your weekly dose of soul-to-soul conversation that will have you saying peace out to your 9 to 5 to explore in your sacred calling. The topics center around conscious business and interviews with the folks who started them. We'll be exploring the art of being human and what it takes to live your life fully expressed and financially free. I'm Christina Gomes, and I went from high-paying job as a psychotherapist to leaving it all behind for my desire to travel the world playing my original music, to becoming the CEO and soulpreneur founder of freeyourcreativity.org, where I help visionary leaders create the businesses of their wildest dreams. If you have a sacred calling, stick around. My prayer is that you become the permission slip for the collective as you hear the soul-inspiring stories that call you forth into creative action. Let's get to the soul. Hello and good morning. Believe it or not, I woke up like this. Actually, sleep in less, but I threw on some clothes to speak with you. I have my morning eyes on because I've always wanted to have this show, Coffee on the Couch. And me and my best friend Rob would talk about this. Wouldn't it be cool if we just had an impromptu podcast show where we talked about whatever we wanted? We had our coffees and we were chatting on the couch. Now, Rob doesn't live around where I live anymore, and I'm like, wait a minute, I have a podcast. Why don't we just do this? And this morning I was supposed to have a call with a potential client. We moved it back. And so I was ready. I was up. I had my coffee in hand. And I got this idea, this download. And I wanted to talk to you today about channeling. Now, who here thinks channeling is weird, or channeling is something that you hear about, that people like put a crystal on their head and they go off into another dimension and they start speaking in tongues, or they speak to different beings, and it's this big to do, and it could be cool, it could be scary, it could be something you're attracted to, and that's all good. You may have been attracted to channeling in the past and channels, and you may have had a bit of resistance. And wherever you are at, this impromptu podcast is not to shame you or to say that you need to get on the channeling boat. But what I want to bring forth today is this idea that everyone is a channel. I want to get closer. I want to get a little bit more intimate. Everybody actually has this ability to channel, to bring down information, cosmic wisdom, ideas from the cosmos, from the heavens, from the ethers. I'm pointing up for a reason. That's where my energy is going right now as a channel for wisdom. Oh, okay. I'm feeling an upward energy. There's also a downward to upward energy and your body to downward energy. There's all different ways that our energy disperses and comes in. But there's also an earth energy, and you might be pulling up earth energy or speaking to the wind and the trees and the plants and not even realize it. And I want you to know that everybody is a channel. And this is something that I learned from my days when I was sitting at the foot of a monk, when I was living in yoga ashrams. I was traveling the world basically barefoot. I mean, I wore shoes, but I was like a barefoot hippie. I had my ukulele. I was singing original songs. I was busking in the streets of Istanbul. And I was overall being a weirdo, like a true weirdo. And I say that with so much love for myself because I love the weird, the unexplainable, the mystery, the mystics of the world. Hence my name on Instagram, The Mystical Muse. I was really intrigued by creativity and where creativity came from and how it was so universal. It was so universal, yet so unique to each person. Everybody's creative process is different. Everybody's connection to their own creative muse is different. And it's really actually this beautiful realm of understanding that we're all unique and yet we all have the ability to create. And this, for me, is what being a channel is all about. And by the way, I want to remind you all that tomorrow is the last day to get my program Resonance half off. And I'm talking about this now because it's connected to channeling. Now, Resonance is a program that I've taken myself through. I don't deliver any programs or tools or guidance that I myself are not embodied in. Anyway, channeling. Still waking up, still drinking my coffee. So when I learned that I could just speak on a whim and it would flow, I didn't have to be scared that I was going to say something wrong, or I didn't have to be frightened that I was going to say the wrong word and embarrass myself. Like everything, every energy, every word that is moving through you is meant to move through you. And my program Resonance is about getting your most embodied message to come through. Now, for many years, I was a singer-songwriter. I am a singer-songwriter. But the thing that I started my business with was not business coaching, obviously, because anyone who starts as a business coach or a social media coach who is just getting started themselves on social media, that is so strange to me. Why not do something that you're actually lit up by? And I am lit up by helping people to bring the soul back into social media, because really what it's all about is helping people to tap in to their own unique channel of words that are meant to move through them. So you are a channel. I learned this in my yogic days. You have a center line, a Sushumna channel, and different energy channels and lines that run through your body, whether you believe in the Taoist perspective or you are a yogi or this is all new to you. You can just imagine that obviously you are made of energy. You have veins and you have invisible lines of energy that are not seen by the naked eye. And that's all very beautiful, but you can feel it. You can feel when you stretch different energy lines. You can feel when you release something, it feels like a flood of energy. And when I speak, I feel my center. I'm connected to my center intentionally. I'm pulling words from the depth of who I am and maybe little insights and downloads. Like this morning, I woke up and I'm like, hey, the light is coming in. I want to chat with some friends over coffee, and yet I have work today, and so I can't run out of the house and chat with people and make it back on time. So why not go live and speak from the heart of what is moving through me now? Now, many of you think that channeling is this thing that you need a certification in, that you got to go and learn how to read the Akashic records, and you have to, maybe sit at the foot of a monk for 3 years like I did. And it's just not true. And think of it this way. What happens to you when you sit with the pen? If you actually sit with the pen, something will come through. And a lot of the practices that I teach are centered around stream of consciousness writing, because people will come to me and they want to share a message. They want to share their voice online and offline in relationship to their mission. They actually want to be embodied in their voice. So they're speaking about their mission in ways in the heart of who you're meant to serve, and has them feeling and knowing that your offers, your services are for them. Meaning there's plenty of people who do what you do. Maybe you are a channel. I've worked with channels before. I've worked with Akashic Records readers. I work with human design experts, astrologers, yogis, mystics, rebels. I've worked with coaches. I've worked with some mainstream folks as well that are starting their awakening practice or starting their own awakening journey. One of my clients was a headshot photographer, and now she wants to have this mystical empowerment experience with her clients that is much more rich and deep. And I helped her transform and also bring that message, that new embodied message forward, and reveal more of her mystical, magical side, which can be sort of scary on the internet because maybe we're not sure if the people in our audience now or the people in our lives are going to accept us in this way. And I'm actually quite the opposite, where all my people are mystical, conscious people, like the people I surround myself with. So when I return back to the States and I'm with, dare I say, muggles, this is a term from Harry Potter. I'm not a huge fan, but I do know the term. It's kind of like normies. I'm like, oh, this is actually the old paradigm. This is actually the, like, what is consistent and normal. They're normal. And I am weird. Great. Perfect. I've been called weird by my cousins since I was very little. And so I want you to embrace your weird, your wild, your uniqueness. And whether you consider yourself a channel or not, you have the ability to speak and write words that affect change on social media and off of social media. And this is a process. You may get excited, you may have downloads right now, but how do we actually, what is the process for taking those downloads and bringing them into form, either in a post or a sales page or a video? This part is not taught enough in the online space from a conscious, mystical, and deep place. And that's what you're going to get inside of Resonance. I am going to teach you processes and systems and how to strategize. But what is a strategy? Okay, Kundalini Yoga is a strategy. Channeling is a strategy. A strategy is just a proven method that works for you. So my strategy might not work for you. You might not want my strategy. And what I'm here to do and help you with is to find your soul aligned strategy. So the one that's going to help you to shine further. For example, one of my clients is really working with this idea of being seen. And it comes from trauma. It comes from past trauma. So it's not something that I'm just going to say, oh, go out and face your fear, be brave, show up on live video tomorrow, or you're never going to make your business happen. No. With this client, because I take a personal approach and I coach most of my clients personally, unless you're in a self-paced course, then of course you're learning the tools. But I always invite people into these deeper realms, into these deeper opportunities to be coached and guided, because how I coach my one client who has a real deep fear of being seen because of trauma is going to be different than the client that comes to me and is showing up on live video, but the lives are not converting to clients. It's different strategies, it's different approaches, and I have approaches for both. I have coaching and wisdom and approaches for both because I've been both people. I have actually recovered from a real big fear of being seen and being heard. And this is due to a story that I told on my accounts. When I was 16, I was a cheerleader. So I kind of didn't have so many fears back then about being seen, but I was actually going to sing the national anthem at a basketball game, and talk about normie turned weirdo. But I was going to sing the national anthem, and I stood in front of the crowd and I forgot the words. I just blanked. I just had this ancient fear rise up in me, and I completely forgot the words. And I played it off because, you know, I can be a performer, and I wasn't going to I wasn't going to run off stage. That was the last thing I was going to do. However, it stopped me from singing in public for 7 whole years. And this was a trauma. This was a trauma. It was a trauma around my voice. It was a trauma around being seen. And so when I went to go write songs and sing songs, it wasn't that easy. I would get on stage, and these were open mics. People begged me to go to open mics because maybe they heard me strumming and singing in a corner somewhere, and they're like, let's go to open mic together. So I went to open mic, and I'm sweating, I'm shaking. It was truly scary because of the trauma. And we know as professionals, many of us somatic professionals, trauma lives in the body. And so sure, I could go and get 100 massages around this. I could do somatics work around it, but the somatics work was getting on stage and letting the shaking dissolve, breathing through it, and realizing I was safe. So titrating those scary experiences until my body understood that I was truly safe in this world. And yes, and I felt it. And I went on to sing in stages in over 30 countries. And yeah, they weren't big stages, but I opened for Mike Love when I lived in Hawaii. Cool things happened to me from moving through the fear of being seen and being heard. And so I want you to know that as well. And there's a post coming out today around this, around 3 unconventional things that happened for me when I learned to share my voice in an empowered way. Yes, I got more clients. Yes, I made more money. Yes, my business expanded in all the beautiful ways that I wanted my business to expand. Yes, I was invited on podcasts. Oh, that's the unconventional thing. But it was other things rather than, just more money and more clients, which I know that you want, and I want that for you. And that's what I'm aiming for in our work together, is for you to be able to have more money and more clients, but mostly so that you can live your sacred calling. And your sacred calling is going to require your depth. Your sacred calling is going to require more from you than sitting on the sidelines wishing that you would. Now, I have other clients that have no problem creating content, but their content is not converting to clients because the message isn't clear. So that's another problem that people have that is only going to be solved when I know your business. So you can take a course, you can understand the methods, and you can give it a try on your own. But the beautiful thing about my work, whether you join at the mentorship level, at the high-end group level, or even in this live course resonance, what's going to be so beautiful is you're going to get creative reviews. So what are creative reviews? Creative reviews are my eyeballs, my creative eyeballs, and knowledgeable eyeballs. Yes, I've had this weird and wild life of traveling and songwriting and creative writing. I'm also writing a book, but I know how to copyright. I've been highly trained, over $100,000 in investments, so that I could learn these skills. So not only am I a great coach and I'm going to be able to coach you around what's happening internally, where are you hiding, where are you not allowing yourself to be seen, I'm also going to equip you with the skills. But not only that, I'm going to co-edit any pieces that you want co-edited, especially your sales page, because so many people want a sales page or a website page or a page that talks about their work in beautiful ways, but actually time-saving ways, because these ways convert to clients. When people come to this page, there's a pattern in everything. And there's pattern, and the data shows what formula, what anatomy of a sales page is going to get you the best results, what actually converts to clients. So we're going to put the message that you cultivate in resonance, or that you have cultivated, and we're going to put it in a distinct way, in a certain anatomy, in a certain flow that is proven to attract clients faster because of the way that humans think. Now, also, I have a background in psychology. So when we talk about the psychology of sales, this is very important, because old paradigm, typical normie reality uses this knowledge for bad. Uses this knowledge to poke on people's fears, to show, what you could be if you just bought all these products. And so we have a resistance to advertising and sales, especially if you've had an awakening and you're more natural. I mean, I have a filter on here and I get my eyelashes done, but like I'm not this like heavily made up person. And when I was growing up, it was like diet pills, all this makeup, and it was in the era of I'm actually older than I look. I'm 40 years old. It was in the era of like everybody's stick thin. And it really had an effect on all of us. It had an effect on all of us, men, women, all of us, to see these magazines where the ideal of beauty was these stick thin people. And what it did was it promoted the diet pill culture. I mean, how many of you grew up in the 80s and 90s and have taken diet pills? And it's like, wow, how terrible was that? I had to download that the reason I had gallstones was because of the diet pills. Yes, anger and all of that energetically, and then I healed these gallstones with the power of sound. So I became a sound healer. I became interested in the healing arts because it's all based in psychology. But how can we use this psychology for good? So there are patternings. That's why psychology exists. It's the studying of the patternings of the psyche. So that's really cool for coaching. We're going to be able to study your patterns and self-study and release patterns that are no longer serving, like not showing up when you say you want to show up, not being able to move past the fear of being seen. You will move past that with coaching, with guidance, with the deep work we're going to do. But when you elevate in that way, and you're ready to create now the assets that sell your offers for you for years to come, you also get to infuse that with skill. And the study of the human behavior and human buying behavior is very important for us good-hearted people, because we can actually use this for good. Hey there, visionary leader. If you're resonating with this message, I'd like to invite you into your next level life and business. Enrollment has begun for the Conscious Creative Business Immersion. This is my signature group container to help you design an offer so delicious, so juicy, so based on your soul gifts that you are thrilled to invite your soulmate clients inside of it. I'm going to teach you how to promote this offer with a ton of heart and to sell out this offer with ease to meet your revenue goals. I would love to have you inside if you are a visionary leader who knows that they are great at what they do. You'd like to collapse the timeline on how long it takes to reach consistent income with an offer that you truly love. Go to the link in the show notes to apply for the Conscious Creative Business Immersion. I will be sitting with your application individually, and I will send an email to let you know if you've been accepted in a few days after application. Thank you for trusting me with your vision, and I can't wait to see what we co-create. So people, one thing that I'm teaching in resonance, so I'm not going to give it all away right here, right now, but are the neural points that get to be activated when you share your sales page, when you have a content strategy, so that we're not expecting one post to sell our offers, but that we have an ecosystem of posts and videos, or however you want to show up on the internet, but we have an ecosystem of content that touches on the neural points that invite people to feel safe to buy, So I study the psychology of safety. I want your people to feel safe to buy. I'm not going to teach you how to fear them into buying like you're a diet pill. Even if you're a health coach and you're helping people to lose weight, that's very beautiful. And I'm sure if you're resonating with my message, you're doing this in a sustainable, heart-centered way. And so whether you're a sexual empowerment facilitator, whether you're a health coach, whether you're a spiritual guide, an astrologer, human design reader, you work with systems, you work with cosmic systems, whether you're a channel yourself, like you need words to sell your offer. And your best words are going to come from your values, who you want to work with, who you're being. Because if you just shove my words into your body, it's going to be misaligned for your soul aligned clients. So it's a very dangerous work to be scrolling on the internet going, ooh, that's inspiring. Let me create something on that. Ooh, that's inspiring. Let me create something on that. When you give yourself space to resonate in your own power and in your own message and who you are and who you want to become and who you are being, then you sound like no one else on the internet. This morning, I don't scroll in the morning. I love scrolling. I think the internet is absolutely a joyful place to be for me. I mean, I've trained my algorithm to show me funny videos, cat videos, and other coaches, guides, mystics doing incredible work. So when I scroll, I'm laughing, I'm learning, and I'm loving on cats. 3 L's to scrolling. You didn't know you were going to learn how to scroll today. 3 L's to scrolling. I'm laughing, I'm learning, and I'm loving on some cats. So I didn't scroll this morning because I don't scroll in the morning. That's a boundary that I have for me that sometimes I break. But I wasn't scrolling. I talk about, but that's not what's happening here now. And when I am having those lists and bullet points and trainings and things I know I want to touch on in a very strategic and potent way, I'm still channeling. It's just bullet points, and I'm still getting to channel stories and ideas, and it's happening in the moment. But you got to work yourself up to that place. There's a learning curve. Yay, Luke says level, I say. What about what I write? Luke is my book writing coach. I just messaged you, Luke. I'm ready to write my book again. I'm on fire. I'm channeling words, both written and speaking. So that's really beautiful. But yeah, so scrolling versus, okay, you have an idea and you have no barriers to entry. You can press live, or you can create a video on the whim and you can share it feeling confident that it's both effective to attracting clients and it feels from your heart. It's not somebody else's words, some robot's words, like some copywriter's words that aren't your own, because that's not going to connect to your soul aligned clients. And a lot of people are like, oh, I just want to hire a copywriter to write all my emails, to write my sales pages. And then people come to your sales pages and they don't feel you. And that's a problem when you're a coach or an intuitive or a deep guide. Your people want to feel you. That's the realm that we live in. That's the kind of work that we're doing. We're not trying to make a quick buck. We're not trying to have a robot create a course for us and then sell the course to try to make money. That's the diet pills of the coaching world, and it's not for us. So if you want to empower your voice, to have resonance with your soul line clients, meaning they feel you and they feel like you are the guide for them, beyond price. Like, that's how you get clients coming to your discovery calls or coming to your workshops going like, how can I work with you deeper? How do you have a packaged up program? How can you coach me? How can you guide me? Like, a lot of you won't even need some of things that all these bells and whistles that you see coaches creating, because your energy is so on point and clear about your mission and how to talk about it, that people will be asking you for offers. It gets to be like that for my clients. A lot of my clients became coaches. I became a coach because people were like, hey, can you coach me? And I was like, yes. And then I went from there. I started packaging up programs, and now I have all these courses, and now I have all these programs that I love to create a really intentional experience for my people. And so that's what you're going to get in resonance, a really intentional experience. I don't have every week in front of me of what you're going to learn, but it's 6 weeks that I've intentionally designed that build upon one another. One of the weeks, I believe it's week 4, is upgrading your video presence so that you can either go live or create a video that touches people's hearts, calls them onto discovery calls or into your workshops and into your courses just from the video. So that's really beautiful. In week 3, you're going to get personalized content coaching. So you're going to get those creative reviews. You can hand in your sales pages. You can hand in your posts. You can hand in your videos. And I'm going to give you live creative reviews all week long. So you won't have to wait till the call. I'm going to be giving them in our community group. And that's a really special opportunity that is normally reserved for my 5-figure clients, for the clients that pay me 5 figures to work with me. And so this is really cool that you're going to receive this at such an affordable rate. It is half off until tomorrow at midnight. So feel free to ask questions. I do have spots 15-minute spot check-in chats. They might be booked out, but if you don't see a space in my calendar, I think the link is in the emails. You should be getting my emails. If not, just message me. I'll give you the link. If you don't see a space, that's fine. We'll open one up for you. We can just chat via Messenger as well, because bring your questions. Like, what are your doubts? What are you personally concerned with, so that I can help you personally and coach you and see if it would be a right fit. But in week 2, this is going to be my favorite week, because this is where we're going to get to the subconscious blocks that may be having you hiding in plain sight. So meaning you might be out there creating content, but there's something that your clients need to hear, but maybe there's some fear around sharing it. Like, I could have totally had a fear around sharing about channeling. Like, what if it was too woo-woo, or if it was too this? But I'm done with that. I share what I want to share. I share what I know I'm supposed to share, because I am channeling. I did get this idea. Someone needs to hear that they are a channel too. It is not for just the super woo-woo, or people who have trained in channeling, or if people have a certification in something wild. Like, your certifications, your message is a channeled message. If you choose it to be, where else is it coming from, unless you've had ChatGPT create it? Which I do have some workshops to help you to use ChatGPT in a better, more aligned way, so it's actually useful, but it's not taking away the soul from your message and your social media. Week 6, what is happening in week 6? Oh, content strategy. Okay, content strategy. We're going to take everything you learn. We're going to upgrade your energetics so that people can see you on the internet. Sometimes you're saying words and they can't see you because your energetics are blocking. This happens, okay? So when all that's cleared and you have the posts rewritten, co-edited with me, or you can write them all yourself and not use that system. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't, but you can do that if you want. But like, I am there to co-edit with you if you choose. We're going to put all this in a strategy so that the legacy content method helps to touch on these neural points that help people feel safe to buy. This is how you get people on discovery calls with you that go, oh yeah, your offer is the answer to my prayers. I just want to work with you. Here's my credit card. They have their credit card in hand. They like have put it out on the table, their crystal. They've already been praying for this offer. They've already been praying for someone like you to show up in their lives and speak truth to their hearts. And that's what this content strategy gives. It's a bingeable content strategy. So if somebody comes to your pages, they know your offers for them. They feel that your energy's for them. And if not, then they go and they find their soul aligned coach or guide or mystic or healer. But I want you to remember that there is enough to go around. There are 8 billion people on this planet, and I don't care what anyone says, everybody needs a guide. Everybody needs a mentor. Everybody needs a coach. I'm a great coach, and I hired Luke to help me to better my writing. I'm a great writer, and I hired someone to help me to better my writing, because book writing is different than content copywriting, and it's different than songwriting. And it was a skill that I wanted to lean into. And so I obviously hired a mentor for that. So I want you to know that I'm always going to put you back into the seat of your own power. You're always going to get to say what you want to say. You're always going to get to do it your way. You're always going to find the freedom within the formulas, find the freedom within the strategy. That's the point. But when you apply this in your own way, you'll be touching on all the neural points that have people feeling safe to buy your people. So this is also really cool, because you won't get someone in your program that you're like, how the fuck did they get here? They don't even have the problem that I help solve. Like, you won't get any weirdos. You won't get any like weirdos in your DMs, which I know a lot of people fear. Like, they fear getting like famous or being seen, because then how am I going to answer all these questions from these weirdos? No, you're the weirdo. You're the weirdo that decides what level of weird that you're letting in your life. And obviously, I mean a different set of weird than your weird. So, like, I mean, like, guys hitting on you in your DMs when you're trying to actually sell a beautiful transformational package of sessions, healing sessions, and you get some weirdo asking you out. It's different, you know, like, unless you enjoy, unless they're, you know, your type, like, then maybe you do want that. But like, you get to set up, and I do have some lessons in the online learning portal in the self-paced portion around creating applications, around creating systems. But this is a 6-week course. And if you want that whole, like, how to really be a CEO, how to really have strategies, repeatable systems, launch processes, that's actually in my bigger program. And of course, you can join that when it's being relaunched. I just really want you to get started with Resonance because it's starting next week. It's half off until tomorrow, and I have payment plans, and I have not in over 4 years offered a live program at such an affordable rate that was going to give so much incredible value. You are really going to leave knowing how to bring the soul back into social media, knowing how to convert clients from your content into your services, programs, offers, courses, retreats, whatever it is that you are putting out in the world. You're going to know how to do that in an elegant way that feels like you. Who's ready for that? So who has any questions on resonance? I want to answer a question that I answered in the masterclass that I just held, Iconic, which I'm giving a day extension on watching the replay. I think the replay is in the link in my bio. The replay is pinned to featured in the group. And what was I saying about that? The question that I get often that I know that holds people back from jumping into programs like this and getting what they actually need and investing in themselves regularly and deeply, right? Because this program's affordable for what you get, and yet it's not a $100 course. Like, no. If you want my $100 course, you can take my $100 course and you can go through it and you'll get benefits. But if you want my live coaching, it's not a $100 course, right? I value myself. This is how others have valued me. And I want to transmit that so that you can understand how that works. Like, if you don't value yourself, who else is going to value you, right? You get to go first and value yourself. So the question that I've gotten in the past is, what if I've invested in a program like this and I didn't get the results? Well, two things, okay? You really got to do a gut check and see how you showed up. I've held cheap programs in the past, and because they were cheap, and cheap is it's subjective, all right? Like, they were way cheaper than my programs now, and people didn't show up. They didn't come to the calls, and I was so astonished. And because I'm I work in small groups, this is not going to be a big group, small groups. And so I'm able to individually coach people. I know when people are missing. And so we messaged this person. I just couldn't believe that they paid money for something and didn't show up. And now my messaging doesn't speak to those kind of people. It just doesn't speak to those kind of people. So most likely, if you made it to the end of this call, this podcast, this live show, that's not you. You show up, you get what you came for, you invest in yourself, and you extract value. You extract value from everything you do. You are not someone who's going to let time pass you by, right? And so then the second thing, what it probably is, okay, let's get real. Now, I've made almost $1 million in sales, okay, over the course of, 4 or 5 years, and probably more than that, because I've only started tracking, and we're actually having a real business where I tracked my revenue about 4 years ago. So I've made a bunch of money traveling the world, teaching yoga. Yoksha, I was going to say moksha. So I was teaching workshops and yoga festivals and all of these things and sound healing. And so I was attracting clients consistently. I just wasn't tracking my revenue because I was a hobbyist. I wasn't actually taking my business seriously. And what was I saying here? Yes. So I wanted you to know that I've invested $100,000 in learning these skills. Like people think, oh, where's I went to a free workshop. Like, where's my clients? I listened to all of Christina's podcasts. Where's my clients? No, you get to implement and you get the coaching and the elevation from being in my world and getting those creative reviews and the depth of coaching that you might not see what I see. You might not see what I see. And if you've only invested in low cost courses or coaches that don't have the experience that I have, just to like say that you invested in yourself, that's the problem. And I want you to know, if you didn't get the results and it wasn't your fault, it wasn't your fault, right? Even if you didn't show up the way you could have, like it was probably due to an external circumstance, divine timing, all of that. You're different now. I've joined a program that I didn't show up. Caption, or sometimes we give the caption a second thought. And now I quickly give the caption my whole thought, because yes, it might be a video, but the captions matter. Your emails matter. The subject lines matter. The hooks matter. And if you gave it just a little bit more time than you're giving it now, with the skills that you're going to learn in resonance, it will make a difference. So some of you don't need a whole life overhaul or to be coached around every trauma you ever had around sharing your voice, although I'm there for that. Like, I just told the story of my trauma. If you're just popping on now, you can watch the replay. And yeah, some of you just need, this is how you make a call to action. Oh, I have been missing these invitations. I haven't been taking the opportunity in these amazing content pieces to talk about my offer. Oh, nobody in my social media presence knows that I have an offer. They just think I'm a goofball, fun person on the internet. And this is how you end up as an influencer with no money. And influencers, if you talk to an influencer, they don't have money. They're getting like free brand deals, or they're getting to stay at a hotel, and that could be cool, but not for you. You're a thought leader. You have offers that are going to transform people's lives, and that might not be transmitted enough on the internet. And we'll go through that and why you might be not actually offering your offers and how to properly make offers. Yes, that's in week 5 or 6, how to make online offers with ease. So you just saw me offer my program shamelessly. Why would I have shame around offering this amazing program at half off? Why would I have shame around that? You might have shame around that, and we'll work on that. Or you might not be elegantly making a bridge from content to offer, and that's what you need. This is why I love personal support, because all of my clients need something different, and I have it all for you. I'm going to equip you with everything you need to convert more content into clients, because likes don't buy. Like, followers are not necessarily, the more followers you have doesn't necessarily lead to more clients. And I'm proof of that with a relatively small audience. But I made my first 6-figure year with less than 2,000. It was close to 1,000. And I've been growing steadily over the last 4 years, probably 1,000 followers a year, which, like, that's not what the influencers or the social media gurus are teaching. They're like, I grow by the thousands. And I'm like, I don't give a shit, because I make thousands of dollars a month coaching amazing soul-aligned clients and living my sacred calling. That's what I give a shit about. You living your sacred calling. You full-time in business, attracting clients, doing your work, serving them in the world. Boom. So this has been such a beautiful impromptu coffee on the couch. My coffee's getting cold. I'm going to have to heat this up because I've been holding it as I channel. But you are the channel for your most magnetic message, and I'm going to help extract that from you inside resonance. Do not wait or hesitate to ask me questions. We start next Tuesday. I can talk to you about when the call times are. We can switch up the call times. I want to get everyone inside. We're having a community group. A few people are joining already and they're okay with the time, but sometimes we can switch it an hour or so. I'm not very strict on the time. We can switch it an hour or so if that's the only thing holding you back. And if money's the only thing holding you back, I have incredible payment plans. So please, please reach out. I'm so excited for the next 6 weeks because it is really my honor to help you empower your voice. It's what I came on this earth to do as a singer-songwriter, as a writer, As a creative, I'm here to help you empower your voice and live your sacred calling full time. And if that means you create content that is empowered and heart centered and doing the work for you, and you easily make offers to people in a more elegant way that works, I am here for that. All right, folks, I will see you next time. Bye.